It is likely that community transmission is now occurring in Kern County.
This is 17 News with continuing coronavirus coverage.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Gitsky. The latest on the coronavirus, health officials confirmed there are now 12 cases here in Kern County. 7 new cases were confirmed today, with another 2 cases confirmed over the weekend, less than 48 hours apart. According to Public Health, 11 residents and 1 non-resident have tested positive for the virus.
It is likely that community transmission is now occurring in Kern County. Unfortunately, now that we have reached the threshold of 5 total cases in our county, we are able to provide cases in a broad geographical level.
Well, according to the map, 1 resident has been confirmed in the Valley, 8 in West Bakersfield, and 2 in East Bakersfield. The map does not account for the 1 non-resident who has tested positive as well. Public Health also says those cases do not appear to be related. 185 tests have come back negative, and there are still 292 tests pending. Well, there are more than 39,000 people infected with COVID-19 in the United States. 447 people have died. California, Washington, and New York are the 3 states that hit the hardest. The National Guard has been activated to help. President Donald Trump said during a coronavirus task force briefing yesterday, the declaration frees up funding and helps the states get additional medical supplies faster.
It is absolutely critical that Americans continue to follow the federal government's guidelines, so important about social distancing, non-essential travel, and hand washing. Defeating this unseen enemy requires the help and commitment of every single American.
In addition, 2 U.S. Navy hospital ships will be put into service to assist during the nation's coronavirus crisis. Well, today, the USNS Mercy is heading to Los Angeles to help with the coronavirus pandemic. The vessel will become the biggest hospital in the city. According to Mayor Eric Garcetti, there are 1,000 beds on board, and Garcetti says the ship will save lives. The ship will not be used to treat coronavirus patients, but instead it will be dedicated to care for other patients. The second ship, the USNS Comfort, is going to be deployed to New York. It's expected to make it there in a couple of weeks. And over the weekend in Southern California, not everyone was heeding Governor Newsom's calls to stay at home. After news of beaches flooding with people, Newsom reminded the public to be good neighbors and citizens for the most vulnerable.
Be a good neighbor, be a good citizen. Those young people that are still out there on the beaches thinking this is a party, time to grow up, time to wake up. Time to recognize it's not just about the old folks, it's about your impact on their lives. Don't be selfish.
The city of Santa Monica announced the immediate closure of beach parking lots to help steer away crowds. And for people that are following the rules and staying indoors, here's what you should know about what businesses are considered essential. Grocery stores will remain open during the statewide quarantine. That includes farmers markets, food banks, and convenience stores. The governor also says pharmacies, banks, laundromats, and gas stations will stay open. Restaurants will take out and delivery services will also remain open. That means you will not be able to eat inside of a restaurant. Now here's a look at what's closed. Dine-in restaurants, bars and nightclubs, entertainment venues, gyms and fitness studios, public events and gatherings. Let's take a look now outside with Kevin Charette. Kevin, how is it looking out there?
Well, good to hear your voice, Nicole. And yeah, we have sunshine out there. We have some clouds. The rain really came in overnight. We saw some good heavy rain showers around the valley and into the mountains. And I want to show you some of those rain totals that we've received with this storm. And we'll start with the valley locations. Seattle Meadows Field, just over 1/4 inch, 1,600ths of an inch here at my place with my weather station. And Arvin, over 1/2 inch, along with Delano, and about 1/4 inch out in Taft. And then we take a look at the mountain totals, then you can see over a half an inch for Fraser Park. Tehachapi now over a half an inch. Lake Isabella the same, and almost an inch in Wofford Heights, Kernville, almost 3/4 of an inch. Now, right now, we sit at 60 degrees in Bakersfield under a calm wind. We've got a mix of sun and clouds right now. As you can see in our Futurecast 18-hour model, doesn't look like we'll get much more moisture in here. Maybe a pocket shower here or there, but that will be about it around the area. As we take a look at the temperatures for the remainder of your day, you can see we will be in the mid-60s, no 70s like we saw yesterday. And then Tehachapi, you're having an issue at the observation site there, but I will tell you temperatures this afternoon are still going to be in the upper 40s and then slipping down in the lower 40s by midnight. We'll have much more in your forecast. That's coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Kevin, for that. Well, deputies discover a human fetus in Oildale. This morning around 8:30, Kern County Sheriff's deputies responded to Meadow Grove Court for reports of a fetus in a dumpster. According to officers, the fetus was disposed in the garbage a few days ago. At this time, it is unclear who disposed the fetus. This is still an ongoing investigation, and anyone with any information is asked to contact the sheriff's office. And a man is in critical condition after he was hit by a car in East Bakersfield. It happened just after 7 p.m. last night in the 2400 block of Mount Vernon. Officers say the man was crossing the roadway inside a crosswalk, but against a red light signal. BPD says alcohol or drugs were not a factor in the crash, but the driver has a suspended license. And a car crash sends 3 men to the hospital for major injuries. The men are being treated at Kern Medical Center after receiving major injuries in a car crash on Edison Highway east of Fairfax Road. According to California Highway Patrol, 20-year-old Joel Soto was driving a 2004 F-150 with 2 passengers westbound on Edison Highway east of Fairfax Road. Officers said Soto was driving under the influence of alcohol at a high speed. The 20-year-old continued westbound and crossed the raised cement center median. The Ford then began to slide sideways, causing the truck to overturn numerous times. The 3 men were ejected from the Ford. CHP says Soto was using a seatbelt, but it does not appear the 2 passengers were. And in your Kern sober reality, a man accused of driving under the influence in a crash last month that killed a motorcyclist is being charged with felony manslaughter. Torsley Dawson faces a charge of DUI vehicular manslaughter without gross negligence in the February 14th crash that killed 24-year-old Dion Shaquille Nobles. The crash happened around 6 p.m. at the intersection of Chester Avenue and 2nd Street. Police said Dawson's pickup made an unsafe turn as his motorcycle approached the intersection. Dawson has pleaded not guilty and is next due in court on May 4th. The coronavirus pandemic may have a bigger impact on healthcare workers, how the virus is affecting their mental health. And the FDA is launching a new rapid test, providing patients with results in less than an hour. And while being cooped up in your house, it is important to move around. How staying active can help keep you healthy. Your 17th Health Watch is right after the break. In your 17th Health Watch, the coronavirus pandemic is taking a toll on healthcare workers' mental health. Researchers surveyed over 1,200 Chinese healthcare workers from 34 hospitals who had treated COVID-19 patients. Half reported symptoms of depression and 45% experienced anxiety. Nearly 3/4 said they were suffering from mental distress. Scientists say interventions promoting mental well-being in healthcare workers exposed to the virus need to be implemented immediately. And people will know soon if they have COVID-19 in less than an hour. Over the weekend, the FDA approved the first rapid diagnostics test that can be conducted entirely at the point of care. It will be able to provide results in roughly 45 minutes. It currently takes at least 24 hours for results to come back because they are sent to centralized labs. The manufacturer says the test will begin to be shipped out next week. Well, it's no secret that staying active is good for your health, but it can also relieve some of the stress of having to stay home as COVID-19 continues to spread. Minnie Gaither has some tips to keep you moving in today's Health Minute.
Being stuck at home can drive anyone crazy, so get up off that couch and get moving. While it's recommended you stay at least 6 feet away from others, that doesn't mean you can't go outdoors. A family hike or a jog in the fresh air will do you some good. You can also go in the backyard and play with your kids. It's a great way to keep everyone active. Staying indoors doesn't mean you have to sit around. You can get your heart pumping at home. There are many free exercises exercise videos out there on YouTube or social media, or download a workout app. Many of them offer free trials and don't require any equipment. Some gyms like Planet Fitness are streaming free classes online, or you can simply move around your house more, walk up and down the stairs, do exercises during commercials, walk some laps, anything to keep you going instead of staying stationary. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Let's send things back over to Kevin Charette. Kevin, how are you enjoying the day out there?
Well, I'll tell you, we've got some sun, we've got some clouds. In Arvin at 59 degrees under partly cloudy skies, but making for a beautiful start to the afternoon. And then out in Wasco, scattered clouds, 57 degrees. And then we take a look at the Fraser Park Camp, 46. As we take a look at Golden Hills, 42 degrees and mostly cloudy skies at this time. As we take a look at Bakersfield, 60 degrees under a calm wind. Visibility is good right now. And our high so far, 60, overnight 49. That's where we should be this time of year. The record on this date, 86, set back in 1926. As we take a look at the skies and still holding on to the cloud cover from the mountains and the west-facing slopes, you look to the north and the west, and you find more sunshine out that direction. As we take a look at the regional view, and right now we'll be tracking our next storm, which is north of us at this time. That will be arriving as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. Daytime highs today into the 50s and 60s all around. We take a look at the Pacific view, and the system that brought us rain last night will exit east today. And then we get that secondary system dropping out of the Gulf of Alaska. That will be Wednesday and Thursday, and we will be looking at rain and also some mountain snow. And then as we go throughout the day on Wednesday and Thursday, that's when we'll see the rain and also the mountain snow before it exits for Friday. We're looking dry Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, for all you allergy sufferers, and I'm raising my hand right now a little bit, we'll be in the medium range today. Today's level at a 5.5. And here's a look at our overall forecast for today. Partly sunny the rest of the day, 65 in Bakersfield, 66 in Delano, 63 in Taft. And then for the mountains and the Kern River Valley, look for a mix of sun and clouds, still hanging on to a slight chance of a shower there, 49 in Fraser Park, 50 in Tehachapi, with 50s into the Kern River Valley. And then for the desert, a slight chance of a shower there for you as well, a high of 58 in Mojave, 65 in Ridgecrest. And we take a look at that extended forecast, and Wednesday, Thursday, the next batch of rain. Again, I think this is all said and done. We may see a lingering shower overnight into early tomorrow morning, but I don't think it'll be much. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're warming things back up. By Sunday, 73. And then for the mountains, we'll also be drying you out for tomorrow. And then look at Wednesday, Thursday, snow level between 3,500 and 4,000 feet. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we start to see more sunshine. By Sunday, 69. And then for the Kern River Valley, also a break tomorrow. More rain and snow headed your way Wednesday, Thursday. And then by Sunday, you'll be right near 67. So overall, not a bad day today. Won't rule out an isolated shower out there, but I'll tell you, it's beautiful along the 58, and you can see very little traffic, but a great start to the afternoon. Nicole, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Kevin, for that. Well, Google's launching a website to help deal with COVID-19, providing tips and resources for those interested. Also, your pets may be more affected by the virus than you think. How stressing out can make your dog feel anxious. Your 17 Business Watch is right after the break.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Back now in your 17 Business Watch, checking stocks. The Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500 are all down at this time. Meantime, oil prices sit at $23.40 a barrel, and Midway Sunset Oil is at $20.59 a barrel. Well, starting today, all trading at the New York Stock Exchange will be done electronically. The New York Stock Exchange announced last week it would temporarily close its trading floor amid the coronavirus outbreak. This after at least 2 people tested positive for COVID-19 during medical screenings. NYSE President Stacey Cunningham said the 2 did not enter the trading floor. Cunningham says markets are fully capable of operating in an all-electronic fashion. Well, Google has a COVID-19 website up and running. Google launched a coronavirus website this weekend, and it provides resources and tips on how to deal with the pandemic. The website includes information on COVID-19 from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the World Health Organization. It also provides information about areas affected by the virus. And employees of Hilton hotels who have been furloughed are being offered access to other jobs during the coronavirus pandemic. Workers will be given direct access to an online resource center, an accelerated hiring process at leading companies, including Amazon, CVS, Oildale, Albertsons, American Plastics Association, and Sunrise Senior Living. Companies partnered with Hilton are hoping to hire more than 200,000 workers collectively for short-term assignments. Hilton has 60,000 employees in its corporate offices and hotels in the U.S. and 200,000 more through franchise hotels. Marriott International is also doing the same with about 2/3 of its 4,000 corporate employees at the company's headquarters in the U.S. for about 60 to 90 days. Well, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is starting to look beyond the coronavirus outbreak to restarting his state's economy. In his daily briefing, Governor Cuomo said they have about 30,000 retired healthcare professionals willing to come back into service during what he calls the wave. He also called on some star power to reinforce the state order. Actors Robert De Niro and Danny DeVito both urged their fellow New Yorkers to stay home, stop the spread, and save lives. Also during the briefing, Governor Cuomo said he has no regrets about how he's handled the public health crisis, and he's already thinking about getting people back to work.
I take total responsibility for shutting off the economy in terms of essential workers. But we also have to start to plan the pivot back to economic functionality, right? You can't stop the economy forever. So we have to start to think about, does everyone stay out of work? Should young people go back to work sooner? Can we test for those who had the virus, resolved, and are now immune? And can they start to go back to work?
Well, so far, 78,000 New Yorkers have been tested for coronavirus, 16,000 of those since yesterday. There are 20,000 positive cases and 5,000 new cases. Hospitalization is down to 13%. Well, as Americans begin to settle into our new normal, keeping our distance from our loved ones, some of the focus is now shifting to what effects the coronavirus could have on our pets. Our story from NBC's Chris Clackham.
Make no mistake, during these days of social distancing, our pets know something's not right.
In other words, they can sense tension. They may not understand the words, but they understand the feelings and the tones.
Are you guys quarantined?
But according to animal experts, that's about all we need to worry about during the coronavirus crisis.
But neither cats nor dogs can get this form, the COVID-19 form of coronavirus that is affecting humans today.
What veterinary Dr. Jerry Klein with the American Kennel Club says is backed up by the CDC and the World Organization for Animal Health. All strongly recommend having a pet emergency plan in place in case we get the virus.
We should have some kind of record keeping readily available for our friends or family who may have to care for our pets in case we are unable to.
You're such a good boy, buddy.
In the meantime, take advantage of why you have a pet in the first place.
They are a great source of comfort and they're blessings in that way.
Caring for the companion that can help us work through this crisis together. Chris Clackham, NBC News.
Well, as cases of COVID-19 continue to spread around the world, countries are taking measures to help combat the spread. New Zealand is now placing the entire country on a lockdown to help combat coronavirus. And the Summer Olympics have been delayed, and countries across the world are saying that they will not let their athletes go unless they were delayed. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Well, a look around the world this afternoon. There are at least 341,000 cases of the coronavirus worldwide, and there are also about 14,700 deaths worldwide. This information is from a tally by Johns Hopkins University. Well, Italy has registered more deaths from COVID-19 than any other country in the world. Now, the country is taking more serious steps in yet another attempt to slow the spread of COVID-19. The government has banned travel within the country except for urgent business or health reasons. It is also freezing all non-essential business activity starting on Wednesday. And Hong Kong has announced extreme measures to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Chief Executive Carrie Lam says the city will ban all non-residents from entering the city starting Wednesday. And she says all people coming in from nearby Taiwan will have to be quarantined. This comes as Hong Kong is reporting a growing number of coronavirus cases, most of which have been imported from overseas. And New Zealand will go into a full lockdown for about 4 weeks in an effort to slow the spread of the new coronavirus. The Prime Minister said the lockdown will begin in 48 hours' time. People must stay at home and all non-essential businesses and activities cease. The decision came as health officials announced another 36 confirmed cases of COVID-19, bringing the total to 102. Most of those cases have been traced to people returning from overseas, but crucially, 2 of the cases could not be traced, and officials believe are evidence of a local outbreak. There have been no deaths due to the coronavirus in New Zealand. The president of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics Organizing Committee says discussions over the postponement of the upcoming games are unavoidable. A possible alternative scenario to original schedule is to be complied within 4 weeks. He said postponement was not the first option, but that was a decision was necessary given the current situation over the coronavirus pandemic. Whether Japan can hold the Tokyo Games as planned on July 24th has been a major international concern as the pandemic has spread globally. The Tokyo Organizing Committee president said today that there was no discussion whatsoever over canceling the games altogether, but it added that the country was not so foolish as to say it will go ahead with the games as planned. This comes after the International Olympic Committee announced yesterday it was considering postponement. In addition, major Olympic nations like Canada and Australia have added pressure by saying they will not go to the games if they are staged this year. And Canada says it won't send their athletes to the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo. The team made the announcement on Twitter. It applies to Paralympic athletes as well. Canada is calling on Olympic organizers to delay the Games by a year as the world struggles to slow the spread of COVID-19. Well, as Kern County enters its first full week of self-isolation, one former serviceman is making it his mission to see that all of our local vets are taken care of. 17's Taylor Schaub has more on this heartwarming story.
Enter our county from any direction and you'll see a familiar sign. Kern County Line, where we honor veterans. A nice note to some, but for former serviceman Eric Scarlett, it's more of a mission statement.
What inspired me was knowing that our veterans are in need just like every other American.
A veteran of Desert Storm, Scarlett's been helping struggling vets for nearly 2 decades. And now with his state under a shelter-in-place mandate, he's doing his part to make sure no soldier gets left behind.
I lay there with my wife and I said, there's got to be something we can do.
So Scarlett called upon Operation Gratitude, a nonprofit geared towards serving the needs of veterans.
Operation Gratitude gave us 250 Operation Gratitude boxes.
With his wife Christy and daughter Kennedy by his side, Scarlett unloaded hundreds of care packages.
In those care packages is hand sanitizer. There's a couple of things to eat, a few things to read, some good words of prayer.
Local CVAF President Deborah Johnson says the impact goes well beyond the supplies.
Just the fact that these care packages have personal notes means that the veterans here know somebody is thinking of them.
For a veteran.
With no hand sanitizer.
Thank you for your sacrifices.
A feeling Scarlett remembers all too well.
And I myself had needed help years back in the past and there was nowhere to go.
So during these trying times, this serviceman wants to let his fellow veterans know they're not alone.
There's people out there to help, you know. If you're having trouble, you can't afford something, your children can't, you know, you want to do stuff with them, you don't have supplies that you need, if it's available and we can get it, then it's here.
Both Scarlett and Johnson also want all former servicemen to know that the California Veterans Assistance Foundation is open throughout the period.
This is 17 News with continuing coronavirus coverage.